Emily Parker stood outside the glass doors of Hamilton Enterprises, clutching her worn-out handbag with one hand and holding her 5-year-old daughter Lily's tiny fingers with the other. She had carefully chosen her outfit that morning, a faded navy skirt suit she had bought years ago for her college graduation. It was the best she had, but she hoped it still looked professional. "Mommy, are you sure they won't mind me being here?" Lily asked softly, her big brown eyes looking up with worry. Emily forced a smile even though her stomach was twisting in knots. "Of course not, sweetheart. You'll sit quietly with your coloring book, and Mommy will talk to some nice people about a job." She didn't have the heart to tell her daughter the truth, that most companies frowned upon mothers who couldn't find childcare, and she had already been rejected twice this month for that very reason. But Emily had no choice. She had no family in the city, no one to watch Lily, and every cent she made at her part-time diner job went straight to rent and groceries. This interview was her last hope. The receptionist at the front desk raised an eyebrow the moment she noticed Lily. "Excuse me, ma'am, children aren't allowed during interviews." Emily's face turned red. I understand, but I didn't have anyone to watch her. She'll stay very quiet, I promise." The receptionist sighed and motioned for her to wait. A few minutes later, the hiring manager, a tall woman in a gray blazer, appeared. Her cold eyes darted from Emily to Lily. "You're here for the administrative assistant position?" "Yes, ma'am," Emily said quickly. "I have my resume." The woman cut her off. "I'm sorry, but this is a professional environment. Bringing a child to an interview shows poor judgment. We're looking for someone dependable, someone who can commit fully. Clearly, this isn't the right fit." The words hit Emily like a dagger. She tried to explain, desperation rising in her voice. "Please, just give me 5 minutes. I can type 90 words per minute, I'm organized, and I won't let you down. I just need a chance." But the manager shook her head. "I think we're done here." Emily felt her throat tighten, tears threatening to spill. She bent down to take Lily's hand, whispering, "It's okay, honey. Let's go." But just as she turned to leave, the sound of polished shoes echoed across the marble floor. A deep, authoritative voice spoke behind them. "What's going on here?" Emily froze. Standing just a few steps away was a man she recognized instantly, Alexander Hamilton, the CEO of Hamilton Enterprises. His sharp navy suit looked like it belonged in a magazine, and his piercing blue eyes studied the scene with quiet intensity. The manager straightened nervously. "Mr. Hamilton, I was just explaining to this candidate that bringing a child to an interview isn't acceptable." Alexander's gaze shifted to Emily, then down to Lily, who clutched her mother's hand shyly. His expression softened, though his voice remained firm. "And why isn't it acceptable? Last I checked, having a child doesn't make someone less capable of doing their job." The manager fumbled. "Well, it's just not professional, sir." Alexander raised a brow. "Professionalism is measured by skill, dedication, and character, not by whether someone can afford a babysitter." He turned to Emily. "What's your name?" Emily swallowed hard. "Emily Parker, sir." "And your daughter?" "This is Lily." Alexander crouched slightly, smiling at the little girl. "Hello, Lily. Did you come to make sure your mom gets the best job in the city?" Lily giggled nervously and nodded. Standing tall again, Alexander faced Emily. "You said you can type 90 words per minute?" "Yes, sir," Emily replied, her voice trembling. He glanced at the manager, then back at Emily. "Follow me to my office. If you're as capable as you say, then I don't care if you bring the whole kindergarten class with you, you deserve a chance." Emily's heart raced as she and Lily followed him through the grand hallway, past employees who whispered curiously. She couldn't believe it. The CEO himself was giving her an opportunity. For the first time in months, a tiny spark of hope flickered inside her. Inside Alexander Hamilton's office, Emily felt as though she had stepped into another world. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooked the city skyline, and shelves lined with books and awards spoke of decades of success. Lily settled quietly in a chair, opening her coloring book, while Alexander gestured for Emily to sit across from him. "Tell me about yourself, Emily," he said, folding his hands. Her palms were sweaty, but she forced herself to speak clearly. She explained how she had graduated with honors in business administration but had put her career on hold when she became pregnant. After her husband left, she raised Lily on her own, taking whatever jobs she could to make ends meet. "I know my resume doesn't look impressive," Emily admitted, her voice cracking. "But I'm hardworking, I learn fast, and I won't let you down if you give me this chance." Alexander listened intently, his gaze never leaving her. Finally, he slid a laptop across the desk. "Let's put your skills to the test. Draft a professional letter to one of our investors. You have 10 minutes. Emily's heart pounded, but she nodded, quickly positioning the laptop. Her fingers flew across the keyboard, the years of practice returning as she typed with precision. When the timer buzzed, she handed the laptop back. Alexander read the letter silently. Then, a smile tugged at the corner of his lips. Impressive. Concise, persuasive, and perfectly formatted. Exactly what I'd expect from a professional. Emily's eyes widened. "Does that mean?" "You're hired," Alexander said simply. Tears welled in her eyes as relief flooded through her. "Thank you, sir. You don't know what this means for us." But Alexander wasn't finished. He glanced toward Lily, who was proudly holding up her drawing. "And you," he said warmly, "have the most important job of all, keeping your mom strong. Do you think you can handle that?" Lily grinned and nodded. From that day forward, Emily's life began to change. She started as an assistant but quickly proved her worth with her dedication and intelligence. Within months, she earned a promotion. More importantly, she gained the confidence she thought she had lost forever. The employees who once whispered about the woman who brought her kid to the interview now respected her deeply. And every time she looked at her daughter, she knew she had made the right choice, not to hide who she was, but to embrace it proudly. As for Alexander Hamilton, he became more than just a boss. He became a mentor, someone who believed in her when no one else did. Sometimes, when he saw her working late, he would smile and say, "I knew I was right about you." And Emily would smile back, grateful that one act of kindness had rewritten the story of her life.